Hi, this is Daniel DiTuro. Are you terrified of carbohydrates or confused about good carbs versus bad carbs? In this video, I'm sharing what are carbs, carbs and blood glucose, carbs, insulin resistance and diabetes, carbs and gluten and oxalates, and bad carbs or too many refined carbs. First, what are carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are primarily plant foods. They include fiber, sugars, and starch. Fiber provides 0 calories, sugars and starches 4 calories per gram. Most are low calorie, but some high-fat carbohydrates like coconuts have about 8 grams per 2-ounce serving, with most of the carbs being in the form of fiber. Coconut oil, like all oils, is 100% fat, with 0 carbohydrates and protein. Meats are about 98% fat and protein, with trace carbohydrates from plant foods. For millions of years, carbohydrates meant fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, tubers, and honey. Affordable, refined, granulated sugars have been available less than 150 years. There are many types of sugars and starch. The liver converts them into glucose. Glucose is the body's main fuel source when not in ketosis, burning stored fat for fuel. Ketosis does not require eating a ketogenic diet. It occurs when the number of calories eaten is less than the number of calories burned. During digestion, the liver converts carbs to glucose, and the pancreas produces insulin so cells can use the glucose for fuel. Your body tries to maintain total blood glucose level around 4 grams 24 hours a day. When you eat carbohydrates, blood glucose rises above 4 grams and the pancreas releases insulin. When your blood glucose level drops back down to 4 grams, your pancreas stops releasing insulin and you may feel hungry. When your body can't maintain total blood glucose around 4 grams, you are at risk for prediabetes or diabetes. Depending on your belief, your liver and pancreas have been around between 6,000 and 3 million years. Long before the first cakes, cookies, pies, sodas, breads, and other foods and beverages high in refined grains and added sugars, and comfort foods like macaroni and cheese. Until recently, fresh fruits used to be a human's main source of sugar, whole grains and tubers the main source of starch. It is rare developing diabetes eating a diet high in fruits and vegetables. The risk of developing diabetes increases eating a diet high in added sugars. Insulin resistance means the pancreas can't produce enough insulin to reduce total blood glucose to around 4 grams. Prediabetes is defined as having fasting blood glucose between 100 to 125 milligrams per deciliter. A person is considered diabetic when fasting blood glucose exceeds 125 milligrams and non-fasting blood glucose 200 milligrams per deciliter. Until the 20th century, obesity and type 2 diabetes affected primarily the affluent. Today, obesity and type 2 diabetes affect a large segment of the poor and middle class. For most people, type 2 diabetes is preventable. It usually results from eating too many refined carbs and living a sedentary lifestyle. Diabetes is a serious disease. Complications include depression, nerve damage, kidney damage, feet nerve damage, skin diseases, hearing loss, dementia, cardiovascular disease, cataracts, glaucoma, and blindness. In addition to diabetes, the anti-carb movement continually comes up with new reasons to frighten people into eating a low-carb diet. Humans were not meant to eat wheat, barley, or rye because gluten causes celiac disease in about 1% of the population. In most cases, the problem is not wheat or even refined wheat, but what is done with refined wheat. Some low-carb diet plans see no difference between eating a 100-calorie slice of bread and an 850-calorie carrot cake. You're not supposed to drink milk because most humans can't digest lactose. About 60% of the world's population is lactose intolerant. The percentage is higher among Native Americans, Asians, and Africans. For years, lactose-free milk has been widely available. Fortified milk is an excellent source of calcium and vitamin D. 1 cup of whole milk has about 160 calories. Like wheat, drinking a 160-calorie cup of milk is not the same as a 1,000-calorie milkshake. In addition to lactose intolerance, some people are allergic to milk. Food allergies can be serious, even life-threatening. Food allergies are caused by proteins, not carbs. The internet is flooded with dire warnings about not eating broccoli or spinach because they are high in oxalates. Even though there is no credible evidence oxalates are a health hazard. About 80% of kidney stones are calcium oxalate. There is little evidence linking oxalates in foods to kidney stones. For people with a history of kidney stones, staying well hydrated can reduce the incidence of stones more than a low oxalate diet. While spinach is a high oxalate food, most people who eat it will never develop kidney stones. The takeaway from this segment is that most carb food fears are not based on credible scientific evidence. There's a huge difference between minimally and highly processed carbs. But some people are convinced there is no difference. There are low-carb diets and advocates that ban eating oatmeal cookies and oatmeal. The main ingredient in oatmeal is whole grain oats. In the cookies, corn syrup. Basic oatmeal has 2 to 3 ingredients. The cookies are made with a long list of ingredients, including ingredients not available to consumers. There is also 4 possible allergens: wheat, soy, milk, and egg. The oatmeal provides 3 times more food for half the calories. It has significantly less sodium, about half the carbohydrates, and less than 1 gram of sugar with no added sugar. White potatoes have become one of the most feared foods in the American diet. Most fad diets warn Americans to eliminate, not reduce, all starchy foods, especially white potatoes. Like oats and oatmeal, some Americans are terrified of eating potatoes. Comparing 160-gram portions of raw versus fried potatoes, the raw potato, being fat-free, has about 1/3 the calories. It's almost sodium-free, has half the carbohydrates, and almost as much protein as an equivalent weight of fried potatoes. Like most vegetables, potatoes are about 80% water. They're a good source of potassium, but also provide phosphorus, magnesium, calcium, vitamin C, folate, and vitamin K. Some fad low-carb diets claim white potatoes are worse than white sugar. Why? Because of their higher glycemic index than white sugar. Since both can cause blood glucose spikes, low-carb diets ban sugar and potatoes. The reason sugar is referred to as empty calories is because it provides none of the fiber, vitamins, minerals, and micronutrients provided by other carbs. As far as low-carb diets are concerned, there is no difference between white potatoes in a stew and drinking sugar water. This meal is condemned by low-carb diets because it has white potatoes. This steak meal provides twice the food as the carrot muffin for 100 calories less. It has less than half the carbohydrates, 4 grams of sugar, with only 1 gram of added sugar from the honey mustard salad dressing. Bananas are another highly feared high-carb and sugar food. The problem is not bananas, but what's done with bananas. The banana has about 1/4 the calories, 0 fat, 0 cholesterol, virtually sodium-free, 1/3 the carbohydrates, and no added sugar. The only advantage of the banana split is its 14 grams of protein. Only fad low-carb diets equate eating a banana to highly processed foods loaded with refined sugars. Or eating apples is as bad for you as eating apple pie, or what some call an apple pie. The saying, "an apple a day keeps the doctor away," has no place on a low-carb diet. The takeaway from this video is that for most overweight or obese people and diabetics, the problem is a diet high in highly processed foods loaded with white sugar and flour, and not a diet high in fresh fruits and vegetables. Please leave a comment if you have any questions about this video. Thank you for watching, and healthy eating.